On Tuesday evening, the parliamentary floor leaders of opposition parties met to devise a joint strategy for the Waqf bill debate. They decided to participate, arguing that the proposed amendments to the Waqf Act violated constitutional provisions. Marked the first time in months that opposition leaders had come together to coordinate a strategy against the government, which has become accustomed to having its way in parliament due to the lack of a concerted pushback. Despite having a more substantial presence in this Lok Sabha compared to the previous two when the BJP held absolute majorities, the opposition has struggled to put the government on the back foot. Why is this happening? Here are three key reasons. Firstly, the opposition's momentum has faded. The energy generated by the 2024 Lok Sabha election results within the opposition ranks has dissipated due to a series of electoral defeats. The BJP had fallen below the majority mark in the Lok Sabha elections, winning 240 seats. It required the help of the TDP and JDU to form a government. The opposition was hoping to ride on that momentum and notch up victories in the assembly polls scheduled later in the year. However, that did not happen, and it did not take much time for that expectation to fizzle out. The Congress lost Haryana first, followed by Maharashtra. Its performances in Jammu and Kashmir and Delhi were also dismal. Naturally, the enthusiasm that had momentarily uplifted the opposition has faded, bringing down the morale of the entire opposition bloc. Secondly, the opposition has failed to project a united front. The India bloc, once seen as a potential counterweight to the BJP, has become defunct for all practical purposes. This disintegration stems partly from electoral losses and partly from the nature of recent campaigns. Congress, for example, aggressively targeted the Aam Aadmi Party during the Delhi elections. The AAP is a fellow India bloc member. In response, most non-Congress parties rallied behind the AAP. It essentially deepened the cracks within the alliance. Even in parliament, opposition floor leaders are no longer meeting regularly. It was a practice that was routine until the monsoon session last year. Now each party is prioritizing its own agenda. For example, the DMK has been protesting against the proposed delimitation exercise and the three-language policy. On the other hand, the Trinamool Congress is focused on irregularities in electoral rolls. And finally, the BJP's victories in Haryana, Maharashtra and Delhi have allowed it to move past its relatively underwhelming Lok Sabha performance. The party appears determined to push through its legislative agenda with a renewed vigor, leaving little room for the opposition. However, this approach has drawn criticism for alleged high-handedness. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla and Rajya Sabha Chairperson Jagdeep Dhankar have faced accusations of partisan conduct. During the ongoing budget session, both houses have been adjourned multiple times without clear reasons. I'll give you certain examples. On March 20th, for example, Parliament was adjourned without transacting any business, despite the Lok Sabha being scheduled to discuss the Ministry of Agriculture's demand for grants. The House was adjourned 3 times within a minute of resuming proceedings, within a minute. Notably, this happened just hours after a police crackdown on protesting farmers at the Punjab-Haryana border. The Rajya Sabha also faced repeated adjournments even as opposition MPs prepared to debate the functioning of the Home Ministry. Home Minister Amit Shah was scheduled to respond that day, but the opposition suggested the adjournment was a tactic to shield him from embarrassment after a pointed attack on him by Trinamool Congress MP Saket Gokhale the previous day. Again, on March 24th, it was the ruling BJP that disrupted proceedings. This time, over the Congress-led Karnataka government's decision to allocate a 4% backward class quota in public contracts for Muslims. 2 days later, Speaker Om Birla abruptly adjourned the Lok Sabha after reminding members, particularly leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, about maintaining the House dignity. However, he did not cite any specific reason for that, or any instance of any misconduct. Later, BJP leaders suggested that Birla's admonition for Gandhi was triggered by his act of cupping the cheeks of his sister, Wayanad MP Priyanka Gandhi, during the session. For The Print, this is Sourav Barman with Snap Opinion.